Hello and a warm welcome to Sarat Chandra IAS Academy, where your dreams are our mission. This is Yatharth here. Welcome to our new series that is Places in News. As clear with the name, we'll be talking about the places that are in news for this week. In this lecture, we'll be talking about Botswana, the Andaman and Nicobar Islands, the Eurasia, the Red Sea, as well as the Arctic. We'll be dealing with both the things, the complete mapping, important geographical locations and markers near these locations, and why are these in news. Let's see what are we going to cover in this lecture. So Botswana and nearby countries, whatever important geographical markers are there, and important rivers, deltas, salt pans, and so on. We'll be covering the Andaman and Nicobar Islands as well as separate islands such as the Coco Islands, the Aves Islands, the Campbell Way, the Galathea Way, and so on. We'll be talking about the Eurasia, mapping, and important security organizations in view of the news. We'll be talking about the Red Sea and its mapping, and Arctic, its mapping, and why is it in news. Let's start with the first thing, the Botswana. So where is Botswana located? In which subcontinent? It is located in the African continent, especially in its southern part. Now let us see which countries are bordering the Botswana. This is Botswana here. So if we keep the Botswana in the center, we see in south there is South Africa. Very obvious with the name. In the east we see the Zimbabwe. In the north we see the Zambia. And in the west we see the Namibia. Please note that neither the Mozambique nor the Angola form any border with the Botswana. Alright, so this is critical information. Please remember. Okay, now let's go about the very important geographical markers here. First of all, we see the biggest marker here is the Kalahari Desert. So 70% of the Botswana is covered by the desert. That is why the population is also very sparse. Very sparse population. Alright, so 70% of the Botswana is covered with the Kalahari Desert. Please remember. Alright, now there are other important portions such as the Limpopo River, which flows on the boundary between the South Africa and the Botswana. Alright, there is the Shobe River in the north. We'll be talking about that also. Okay, now there is one important thing called the Okavango Delta. This is also very important. And there are salt pans known as the Magagid Gadi salt pans. In the 2023, there was a question about salt pans. In the options, it was mentioned the salt pans. Okay, the question asked about natural formations of about the Kutch, Gujarat Kutch Bhumi. Okay, or the Kutch land, run of Kutch. Okay, so it was related to that. That is why in this slide, this salt pan becomes important. So please remember these are in the Botswana. Okay, now let us see some important facts about this country. So it's a landlocked country, first of all, as we can see in the map in the southern Africa. Again, very clear to us. Botswana has approximately 70% of its territory as the Kalahari Desert. Again, very clear to us and very, very important. It is connected by the Kazungula Bridge to Zambia. So Zambia is in north. Across the world's shortest border between two countries. Also the country's names between the lands of the Swana. Okay, Botswana. Botswana. So this means the Botswana, referring to the dominant ethnic group in Botswana. So if somebody asks you or it's in the question that which country has the Swana, so you can see the Botswana. Okay. The Okavango Delta, one of the world's largest inland river delta, is in the northwest. So we have already seen the Okavango Delta. Second is Maggadik Gadi Pan, that is the salt pan, a large salt pan lies in the north. So we have already seen this also. And the Limpopo River basin lies partly in the Botswana. The Shobe River lies in the north, providing a boundary between the Botswana and Namibia's Zambezi region. Alright, so see the map again. This is the Namibia's Zambezi region. Okay, and here is the Shobe River. We'll see it later on. Okay, in this region. There is the salt pans. There is the Okavango Delta. The Limpopo River is here. And there is Kalahari Desert located here. Okay, let's go on. we see the Kalahari Desert is spread between multiple countries. So which countries it is spread in? Namibia, Botswana, and South Africa. All right, but majorly in the Botswana. So this is very important information for us. Okay, so what we see here, let's note Kalahari is spread in which countries? Three countries. One is the Namibia. Second is the Botswana, and third is the South Africa, and majorly in the Botswana. Okay, so this can be asked as a question. And now we see the Shobe National Park here. The Shobe River is also located here in this side only. Okay, we see the Okavango Delta. We see the Salt Pans and National Park here. And this is the Central Kalahari Game Reserve. All right, now move forward and we see the Limpopo River system. This Limpopo River system exists between here in the South Africa. The Zimbabwe is here, the Botswana is here. Okay, so some part of it, this delta, the Limpopo Delta, exists in the Botswana and the South Africa. Here you can see the boundary. Okay, this is South Africa. And this is the Botswana. So Limpopo River makes the boundary between which two countries? One is the South Africa, second is the Botswana. Here you can see the delta of the Limpopo River. All right, it goes first to the north side and then again takes a curve and goes to the south side. Okay, like an arc. Now let us see the important rivers in this north side. Okay, so between the Namibia and the Botswana, in the north side we see a river here known as the Shobe River. Okay, this is the Shobe River. And this is the Zambezi River in near the Zambia. Okay, so please remember this Shobe River. It's very, very important. And this is the place which forms the boundary between the Botswana and the Namibia. Okay, very small portion of Namibia look like this and goes towards this. So this is what stops the Angola from touching the Botswana or making a border with it. All right. So now why is it in news? What is the issue in front of us? Okay, so this is Botswana's president. Just a second. So his name is Mogavitsi Masisi. We'll just remember Masisi for reference. So he has threatened that I will send 20,000 elephants to Germany. Okay, now why is this happened? Why this statement came? Because Germany earlier this year said that we will enact stricter limits on import of hunting trophies. Okay, what? Hunting trophies from other countries. Okay, and Germany is one of the biggest importer. So what happens basically? The German people go, or the German hunters go to the Botswana, kill the elephants there for the hunting trophies, and bring the trophies here in the Germany. All right. So now this issue, why is it arrived? First of all, why is it arose in the first place? And meanwhile, we can also see the neighboring countries to the Germany, which is more important for us. So in the north, we see the Denmark, then we see the Poland, the Czech Republic, Austria, the Switzerland, the France, Luxembourg, Belgium, and Netherlands. So Germany is surrounded by so many countries. All right, the North Sea is here and the Baltic Sea is here. So of course this is just a statement, it doesn't make any sense, but the situation makes sense to us. All right, so what we see here is that there are so many elephants in the Botswana. Okay, so why there are so many elephants in the Botswana? It is because of the stable government, a small human population. Okay, a stable government, a small human population, and second thing is because of the policies that Botswana has implemented. One is the shoot to kill policies towards the poachers. So it has given rise to more than 80,000 of the elephant population, and which is a big problem now in Botswana. 40% of the world's elephant population is in this country alone. All right. So now this Botswana, it did what? It reenacted the hunting game. Okay, it restarted the hunting trophy game, and it is saying that it does two things. All right, we'll see on this page only. So it does two things. Just a second, I'll erase all this. So Botswana is saying that if we allow hunting of the elephant, it does two things. First of all, it boosts our economy. Okay, and it supports the tribal communities, the ethnic communities. And third thing is keeps the hunting population in check. But what do the conservationists say? They say that the hunters do not kill the smaller elephants like this. They search the biggest, largest, strongest elephants, and this is creating an issue for the gene pool of the elephants there. All right, despite giving the economy a boost. So this is an issue. All right, according to the conservationist. So this is why it's in news, but the Botswana is important for us. Okay, let's move on to the next one. That is the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. So you can see in the map here, these are the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. This is our lovely India, and they are located around 2000 kilometer away from the Indian mainland. You can also see the Andaman and Nicobar Islands look like a continuous chain between the Myanmar, an elevated portion between the Myanmar and Indonesia here. All right. So here you can see they are of various different origin. Some are of volcanic origin, some are of the coral origin. All right, but they look like a part of the mountains here. So we'll talk about this also. It is divided into two parts, the Andaman and the Nicobar Islands. There are multiple small islands, not like a continuous body, and they are separated by a 10-degree channel. All right, so let's talk about these. In the north, we see the North Andaman, the Middle Andaman, and the Lower Andaman. And the Port Blair, the capital of the Andaman and Nicobar, is located here. Andaman located here. There is Little Andaman also, and the Car Nicobar. It is very important in the Nicobar Islands. This are separated by the 10-degree channel we see here. All right. Moving forward, we see the important points about these both. So there are total 836 islands in the Andaman and Nicobar, of which only 38 are inhabited. The Andaman and Nicobar Command, that is ANC, is the first and only tri-service command in the island and was established in 2001. And Andaman is divided into three parts: North Andaman, Middle Andaman, and South Andaman. And the Nicobar Island is divided into smaller southern group, and which is separated from Andaman by the 10-degree channel. Okay, one more thing, part of the submerged mountain range and extension, the Arakan Yoma. So this is the mountain I was talking about, the Arakan Yoma mountains here from the Myanmar to here. All right, and Andaman and Nicobar are the elevated portions of this mountain range. Now this is very important, that Andaman Island are mostly volcanic in origin, while the Nicobar Island are primarily coral based. Okay, so this is very important. Now let us talk about why is it in news. So there are multiple things. The most important is the military upgrade, the major military infrastructure upgrade. So why we are talking about this? Because of the military infra upgrade. All right, so what is going to happen? One is the revamped airfields. All right, this is just a symbol for the revamped airfields and jetties. Okay. In the Agalega Island also, the India opened a jetty recently. So it's also very important. I hope you have watched that lecture, the Agalega Island. Okay, the next one is the additional logistics and the storage facility. So we'll be developing storage facilities. All right, and habitat for troops to robust surveillance and infrastructure. So we'll be developing the surveillance also. Okay, sort of the satellite surveillance. One more thing, the enhanced infrastructure is aimed to facilitate deployment of additional military forces and facilities for larger and more warships, aircraft, missile batteries, and troops. So overall, it is a military upgrade. Military upgrade. So what is happening and why this is happening in the Andaman and Nicobar? Because of the growing Chinese attempts to expand its influence in the region, which includes the construction of military facility in Myanmar's Coco Island. Okay, right next to the Andaman, they are located the Coco Islands. Okay, and China has, this is the Great Coco Island, and China has already built some infrastructure, military infrastructure in these Coco Islands. Okay, so these Coco Islands are located very near to the Strait of Malacca here. All right, and very near to the Myanmar, which is an ally of the China right now. Okay, so what we see here, these are the Coco Island, this one. Okay, and this is the Andaman Islands. Just a second, I'll mark in the map. Okay, so these are our Andaman Island, and these are the Coco Island. Now these belong to the Myanmar. And in Myanmar, there is Janta rule right now. Okay, and China is an ally. China is an ally to this rule and government. So there is Chinese presence here. And that is why in Andaman, we have to do military infrastructure upgrades. Because China is attending its or expanding its presence here. And Andaman and Nicobar are of great strategic importance since they, just a second, since they straddle one of the busiest sea lanes in the world and give India the reach to monitor the flow of traffic from South China Sea and the Pacific Ocean to the Andaman Sea via the Strait of Malacca, that is key trade oil shipment to Indo-Pacific. Alright, recently what we saw, the satellite imagery has depicted military modernization in the Great Cocoa Islands with the construction of two hangars, new causeway and accommodation block. Alright, so basically what is happening, China is expanding its presence in the Indian Ocean via the Cocoa Islands. And we need to upgrade the Andaman and Nicobar for the same thing. Alright, because Cocoa Island are present very, very close. It's a very great strategic standpoint. And so are the Andamans. We have a bigger base and we can do bigger things than China in here. Okay, so Andaman can serve as our great military base. Now let us see the important markers, geographical markers in the Andaman, that is Saddle Peak National Park. The national park are very important. 2-3 times the questions have come on these. The Middle Button Island National Park, North Button Island, South Button Island. This is very important. Rani Jhansi Marine National Park. Okay, very important. Only Marine National Park. Mount Harriet National Park and Mahatma Gandhi Marine National Park. Alright, so these both Marine National Park are very important. Rani Jhansi is more important. Alright, it is located in the southern Andaman. Then we talk about the Campbell Bay National Park and the Galathea Bay National Park. These are also both very, very important. This you see the 10-degree channel here separating the Andaman and Nicobar. Another important island is this barren island. It is of active volcanic island. Alright, the volcanic activity is present here in the barren island. Okay, questions have come earlier also, and this is the Ritchie's archipelago in the Andamans. Okay, let's go further. We see this Aves Island also here, this one, and this is also in the news related to Andaman very recently because it has been opened to the tourist very recently, the Aves Island. Okay, it is about the birds presents. So now let us revise very quickly what all we saw till here. Then we'll move forward. Just come back. All right, we saw the Botswana, where it was located, the Namibia, the Zambia, the Zimbabwe, and the South Africa. We now saw the Kalahari Desert presents here, the Limpopo River here. All right, the Okavango Delta here, the Salt Pans here, the Shobe River in the north. Okay, the Kalahari Desert we saw already. This all we saw. Okay, so no need to revise much. The Kalahari we saw, it's mostly present in the Botswana region. Here we saw the Okavango Delta again in the map. Just a second. Okay, the question we did. Then further we move to the Limpopo River. We saw it here. Okay, making the boundary between the South Africa and the Botswana. Okay, in the north we saw the Shobe River, making the boundary between this arm of the Namibia and the Botswana. Okay, located in the north of the Botswana. We saw the issue with the elephants here, the overpopulation of elephants because of the policies that Botswana implemented. And we saw the recent issue between the Germany and Botswana. All right. In Andaman and Nicobar, we saw where is the Cocoa Islands, why India is making military upgrades to the Andaman and Nicobar. All right, we saw various different national parks also, the Port Blair, Car Nicobar, these are all on our hands now. We saw the Arakanyoma mountains of the Myanmar, and this is to remember most importantly that Andaman Island are mostly volcanic in origin and Nicobar Island are mostly coral based. Okay. Why in news we already saw that we are doing the military infrastructure upgrades here. The Cocoa Island we saw they belong to Myanmar and located very close to Andaman. Okay, in the north and very strategic, let's say, point to China. But we have a bigger strategic point which we can use. So this is the Myanmar here. All right, the Cocoa Island of the Myanmar here, and we have very big island compared to these Andaman and Nicobar Island, where we are doing the military upgrades. All right, so same thing we have, just bigger. Furthermore, we see the important national parks in the Andaman and Nicobar, which are the Saddle Peak National Park, Middle Button Island, North Button Island, South Button Island, Rani Jhansi Marine National Park, very, very, very important again. Mahatma Gandhi Marine National Park, very important. And furthermore, we see the Campbell Bay and the Galathea Bay. All right, here we see the barren island. Again and again, question have been asked on this barren island and the 10 degrees channel. All right, so in the next lecture, because there is less time to cover now, we'll be talking about the Eurasia, the Red Sea, and the Arctic. So if you liked this series, please leave your feedback in the comment section. I'll be taking and talking about these three in the next lecture as well. So we'll be releasing that soon. Thank you very much for your presence. I wish you all a great day ahead. Keep studying. See you soon.